speaking, the market will probably roughly produce the right outcomes.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
Okay, David. Daithí?
In terms of renewables, and you've outlined, Esmond, how renewables has a lot of potential here in terms of wind energy, etc. I'm interested just to know what your view is in terms of the Green New Deal, as it's been outlined. Secondly, in terms of corporation tax, which is obviously a big issue for ourselves, and I certainly agree with the point in your paper about lower corporation tax and the potential of it to become a futile race to the bottom. And I know CPI has taken a run at this in terms of Brannigan and said he would prefer a rate of 10%. But I think we do need to look at that in a more holistic way. It's not only corporation tax, so I would like to know, in terms of attracting inward investment, what do you need more than just the headline corporation tax rate? Do you agree that we should perhaps have an all-island rate rather than the north and south continually undercutting in the interest of long-term sustainability in that?
Well, taking the first point, Green New Deal, which amongst other things is the idea to put a lot of investment into upgrading the sort of energy efficiency of homes, be it in the private sector or indeed in the housing executive sector. In principle, it's a very good idea because you sort of try to deal with immediate unemployment in the building sector. You end up with a socially useful addition to your Northland capital stock. You've got buildings which are more fuel efficient. It's good for the individuals and that reduce fuel poverty. Now, like all these things, and obviously you're the DFE committee looking at the budget, there is the challenge of how you pay for the upfront cost. Because the upfront cost could be considerable. Now, there may be ways of doing that and spreading the cost over a number of years rather than face it up front. But in principle, yes, Green New Deals is something to be given very strong consideration, particularly in the current context of high rising unemployment and Northern Ireland's traditional problems of depending on fossil fuel imports, and we're not very efficient at heating our buildings. Your second point, Mr. McKay, about corporation tax, yes. The position of PwC, the firm I'm a member of, and we've given evidence along with others to the current inquiry in the Westminster Northern Affairs Committee, is that we don't believe that a reduction in the headline rate would be, as it were, a panacea, silver bullet to simply resolve everything overnight and give us the sort of performance with respect to foreign direct investment that the Irish Republic had for many years, and indeed even in the current crisis, the Irish Republic still gets a disproportionate amount of the foreign direct investment coming into Europe. What the rate should be, then, I think is very much a secondary issue. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a lower rate, but I think it has to be part of a much broader package. And what the Republic has been very good at, especially in recent years, is tax credits, tax allowances to encourage intellectual property. In other words, to encourage people to patent new products or new ideas or processes and do that in Dublin as opposed to California or Germany or Japan or South Korea, and also tax credits to encourage R&D. So I would like to see, be it in the context of the government paper that we're waiting for coming from the London government about the enterprise zone and rebalancing the economy, that serious thought is given to those sorts of powers. So then the question, well, should we have a 12.5% rate? Should we have a 10% rate to be slightly lower than the Southern Irish? I think becomes something of a secondary question. I don't think in terms of the actual impact on business, a couple of percentage points would necessarily make all that much difference. There would be a psychological effect, and obviously you have to make a political judgment about whether it's more important for Northern Ireland, where it currently is, to be sort of shining a beacon up around the world saying we're highly competitive and we're even more competitive than Southern Ireland, where traditionally Americans, Germans, etc., have tended to put your plants, or do we simply say, right, we'll just simply match the Republic's rate? And of course, who knows, notwithstanding all the denials and so forth, the fallout from the bailout could be that harmonisation may occur in the opposite direction if the Dublin government is forced to go from 12.5% up towards